Hello. Hey, Snacks. The other stream I was watching just finished. How convenient. I'm, I think I have everything kinda set up, right? I think it's in a good place. I made an addition to today's setup. You might notice there's a VHS camera up there. So I have a second angle for when I'm working on the soldering today. Hopefully it's a better camera angle. Not a very good camera because it's from 1994, but yeah. Yeah, we'll see how it turns out. Um I guess let's go to this camera. Hold on. Oh. Oh, you can hear that. Hold on. There we go. When was the first Xbox 360 repair stream? That was last week. That was last week. That's when I did the soldering. That's when we took that's when we took this guy apart, right? And so right now this has the disk drive taken out of it. I think it's a problem with the disk drive. If it's not the disk drive, then it's bricked. Um, I did talk to Ultra, and Ultra gave me some advice for actually being able to remove the the heat sinks. So we might be able to do that today as well. So hopefully, if everything goes perfect, we will take off the heat sinks, put new thermal paste, replace the disk drive, and test it. Got its power supply right here. And if everything works good, we'll have a working Xbox 360 at the end of this. That's if everything goes good. So where should I even start? So I guess let's run through the parts. We have this partially reassembled one. We had a lot of broken plastic last time. Um, this is the old disk drive. Let's turn that off. It's still washed out. Wonderful. Let me try to turn this off. Okay, yeah, you know what? We'll just keep it on. Whatever. So this one's been having some trouble. It ejects, it feeds back in, but it just doesn't read the disks. It tries to read them, nothing happens. And so we got this model number here. Where is it at? Right there, DG16D 2S09C. So I looked at that on eBay, and these were about anywhere from $10 to $30. So here's the one I got. And this one has the same model number, but it's missing the suffix. It's missing the 09C suffix. I paid about $30 for this, shipping included. Now, the reason why I was willing to buy this one for repair is because the eBay seller specifically gave instructions on, by the way, if you buy this, you have to swap the circuit board for the one that's already in your console. And I was like, okay, so they're putting that kind of disclaimer. Actually, why is this recording? They're giving that type of disclaimer for their product. So I feel like they're a lot more comfortable like selling it. They understand why they're selling it, and they understand what it's for and what it takes to get it working. So I was like, yeah, I'll go with that listing. And it just came in today, so it was wonderful timing. So we got to open up both of these, swap out the PCB. I guess we'll start with the one that's bad. Okay. Oh, before we do that, actually, got something really important here. Cheers. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a PBR. Okay. So looking at these drives, ow. I think these are just Phillips. Yeah, these are just Phillips on the bottom. I watched maybe like a 10 seconds of a video. So I feel pretty confident now. Which is great. There's our screwdriver. Earlier today we were using what? Torx. So we got small and medium sized Torx. There's our solder. I have my solder iron here. See what else we need. Ow. What fell on the floor? I don't know. I don't know, and that's great. That's really good. What is this? Noctua thermal paste. I mean, that stuff's pretty good, right? Noctua. What else do I have here? I have a Cooler Master thermal paste. Um, EK thermal paste. Could have sworn I had some Arctic MX4, which is like the go-to, right? That's usually what most people use. Maybe it's in the toolbox. I have a little tool tray here. You know what? It's not important. We'll probably use, which one's probably the best one? I don't know. Probably the Noctua one. Is that gonna fall off? No, we're good. Okay. Um, right. There are tweezers. And I think these are just what, Phillips number 2. They shouldn't be too difficult to take. Actually, let me try to make my second camera bigger here. Probably crop that. Give me just a second. I'm using an analog setup for that camera, so it's going to be a little bit jacked up. Filters. Crop. There you go. Crop the right side. Come on. There we go. Wonderful. And then we'll do the same thing on the left. What is that? 250? 275? That should be good. Okay. Where should I even put this? We'll put this over here. Okay. Good. So do I think I'm going to be successful today? To be honest, I really don't know. Um, the more I think about this, I'm kind of worried. I'm kind of like, oh, I don't know about this one, man. This might be like $30 in the trash. You know, but if it is, you know, if it does reach to that, I have a coworker who's kind of a gun nut, and I'll give him this Xbox and he'll take it to the gun range and shoot it with something. Yeah, $30 isn't the end of the world. Absolutely not. But it also sucks to like try to fix something and then not be able to do it. That's my main concern. Is like going through all this effort and then not being able to fix it. So we took the 4 screws off. This cover comes off. There we go. Um, this looks pretty typical from what I saw in the video. That piece of metal over there. So really what we're interested is this. This circuit board here has keys that are shared with the console. And let me just see if I recognize everything on it. Yeah, that looks good. So what we're really worried about is we got 3 ribbon cables. One here. Got one here. We got one here. Now these are pretty simple. It also has these 5 wires. Is it 5? These 6 wires that are soldered on, and we need to get rid of those. I remember your dad tried, and you tried to fix a PS4 controller, and you fucking destroyed it. That's happened to me before. Yeah, it's very discouraging to try to fix certain electronics. But what's the worst that could happen? Smile. Um so these ribbon cables I think are pretty simple. You just have like a little plastic collar that you unplug. So there's one. Easy. 100% because you tried to raw dog the solder with no flux. Honestly, like looking at these are a little bit smaller than I expected. Whoops. Right? But that's like a 20 gauge wire, maybe. I could probably do it. I know last time I kind of raw dogged the soldering, but I actually do have flux, and we'll clean up the pads and everything. So there's a second ribbon cable down. Now time for this flat one. Is this one of the ones that flip up? It is. So this last one, instead of a collar that pulls out, this one is going to be a little collar that flips forward. Is it? I have a different model? There's no way. I heard gunshots going off in the distance. Snacks, it's like you're living in America. When I lived in Aurora, that's what I heard every night. How in the fuck do you take this off? No. I need something to get in there. Hold on. Me trying to use something. Yeah, it's a bit comforting every time you feel down. There's someone worse off out there. Yeah. Well, I mean, I moved to Denver, which is like the main city that Aurora is around, right? Aurora is like a suburban town attached to Denver. Try to use a flat blade here. Oh, wants to. Oh, that's not pretty. And when I lived in Aurora, there were gunshots every night. Every night. And I just kind of grew up with that being normal. Okay, so I may have damaged the connector. No problem. We're just going to pretend that didn't happen. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And when I moved to Denver, I thought that moving to the inner city would be a lot more like violent, a lot more gunshots and stuff. And oddly enough, I've been here in this apartment for what, almost half a year, and I haven't noticed anything. And not even one. Not even one gunshot. It's kind of weird. Really weird. Okay, so I guess I have to get my soldering iron heated up. So let me plug that in. Don't jinx it. Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay, so while this heats up, I guess I should find my other stuff here. Hold on. So I have a little pad of kind of steel wool to scrape off any gunk from my soldering iron. Don't really use it too much, but it's nice to have, I suppose. Where is the copper? Hold on. Yeah, I had it last time. There we go. And there's our copper wick to help clean up the pads. And our flux. Right, I guess I need the needle end of this. Hold on. You can tell how often I use flux, which is I don't. Do I even need this? Whatever. We'll keep this here just to, just to make it look like we know what we're doing. Just keep that right there. Yeah, like to be honest, we don't look at the size of these pads. We don't need flux. This is flux like rosin core. It'll be fine. Clean it up with this, wipe it off with this. We'll be fine. Okay. We have our soldering iron. I'm sure it's heating up. This thing has no settings on it. Just want to make sure I get a little bit on here. Nope, still not that hot. Usually I know it's nice and warm when I touch it and it melts. All right. March Hare, hello, welcome in. Where did you learn how to do all this? I was a mechanic. I was a diesel mechanic. I worked on buses. And part of being a mechanic, you learn the basics of electronics. Now, usually I was working with, you know, bigger things than this. But the same rules apply. Starting to melt just a little bit. Yeah, it's getting soft. So we'll put that there. Cheers. All right. Now it should be warm. We're going to melt just a little bit on here. There we go. You can see that little smoke. That's not the lead. That's the rosin. And we're just going to grab one of these little wires here. And we're going to touch the end of our tool onto the solder pad. You could really go for some water right now. I'm not. Okay. And that insulation just fell off of that thing. That's really inspiring. That's really confidence inspiring. All right, there's the yellow first one. Grabbing the second one. Start rubbing. There you go. We got a little bit of heat in here. First one's always the roughest one. Get that guy back. Next, this little white one here. What are you drinking? I'm drinking Pabst Blue Ribbon. A discerning beer for people who are very cheap. There's a second white one. We're not going to bend that one just as much. Now for the red. A little rub. Red's off. And then now for the black. Good. It all came off. Beautiful. Now with this here, let's try to clean it up a little bit. We're going to get some fresh solder here. We're going to melt it onto our tool. Okay, melt a good little bead here. And we're just going to touch the pads. Touch the pads, rub them. Rub that new stuff in, right? These are ROHS, so they don't have any lead. We just added lead. Makes them a lot softer. Now we're going to come into here with our copper wick, okay? And we're going to put it on top of the pad and press down with our soldering iron. We have to be really careful here. Why do you have to be careful? Well, because copper is a very good conductor of heat. So I'm touching this copper and it's getting fucking hot. Okay. Spicy. Good. All right. Next pad down the line. Whatever. We'll skip to this one. We'll skip to this one. We're doing good. Ow. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Give me just a second. I'll read what you said, but right now I'm trying not to burn the fucking skin off my fingers here. Let's get this one just okay. All right, we're done there. Give me a second. Okay, we just unplugged our iron. Put that on the mount. Okay, now let me show you just how we clean these pads up. You have Coors in the fridge. Yeah, no, I understand. You don't have to drink with me, but that's okay. So you see those pads where the wires were? You see now the wires are removed, and those pads are a little bit cleaned up. We melted fresh solder into them, and then we cleaned off the excess solder. And then we're just going to give it a good visual inspection. And it doesn't look like there's any extra solder jumping from one connector to the other. Right? We just want to make sure it's not shorting out. Now, this is another thing we could do, is I have these. These look like Q-tips. Except instead of being cotton tipped, these are tipped with corundum, which is it's just really rough. It's just a really rough thing. And if you're having a rough time getting good contact onto the pad, you can get one of these and lightly scratch the surface to reveal fresh metal that's not corroded underneath, right? If you needed to, but you don't have to, right? But that's an option. Sometimes with really vintage stuff, solder will just peel off and then you'll be left with the pad, and then the pad will have a layer of corrosion on top of it. So you can get this and just scrape into the corrosion, get to fresh metal, and now you're in business. So we have this disconnected. How do we take this thing out? So we got 1, 2. We got 2 little screws right here. Let's get this out of here. Some tiny Phillips. Need my baby Phillips here. That's kind of neat. Yeah, well, when you're working on stuff that is maybe not in the best condition, what you got to do. What is that? That's a Phillips 000. Okay. And because it's such a tiny Phillips, almost no resistance on this. So easy enough. Second one off. And we got our screws there. Now is this going to lift right out? Oh, it wants to. It wants to. There's a little clip right here. Little plastic clip. There we go. Oh, come on. There we go. So there's our PCB. Okay. Now, hopefully the issue isn't here. If the issue's here, you know, we're fucked. But hopefully it's the mechanical thing. And then on the back, a couple capacitors, right? 1, 2. I think that's like a, what is that? That's like a little crystal thing. So let's try to keep time or something. RD Climb, hello? Nice to see you. We're trying to fix my Xbox here. We'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. So we got our circuit board here. What game's this? Got a tip to check you out? You got a tip? Oh. We're not gaming today. We're trying to fix my console. Because I tried to play Alan Wake on this. And it wouldn't read the CD. And I'm just looking at the carriage here of this CD drive. Okay. And to be honest with you, I don't see anything wrong. Okay. Now, it could be the laser, could be, you know, whatever. But just like rough visual inspection, it looks fine. So hopefully we're okay. And then here's the wires. Oops. Here's the wires that we took off. And you could see how the insulation came off that first one there. Very old wire. The insulation just peeled right off of it. Realfie, hello, how are you doing? And you might be thinking, you didn't remember what order these wires were in. Well, we don't have to. Because it's printed. It's printed right there on the circuit board. BRWWYY. What was going on with your Xbox that had me doing this? I would put in a disc. It would feed the disc in. And it would say reading. And then nothing would happen. As if the disc wasn't even in there. You could eject the disc, all right, you know, whatever, it's clean. Yeah, okay. Put it in. Put it back in. Reading. And then nothing happened. So I assume it's a problem with the disk drive. And if it's not, well, I have another Xbox. I have a newer Xbox, but this is a fat. This is an Xbox 360 fat. And I would like to keep it in working condition if I can. So that's what we're doing today. So we have our bad drive, our presumably bad drive, gutted. Here is our new drive from eBay. Our new to us drive. And you could see the only difference on this one is it has no faceplate. And the serial number is just missing the suffix here. But it should be fine. I tried with more than one disc. Yeah. I tried with Alan Wake, didn't work. I tried with Ace Combat 6, didn't work. When I got the new Xbox, or the newer Xbox, they worked just fine. So I believe the issue is with the disk drive, hopefully. But no, it's not the disk. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you always have to. When I was a mechanic, it wasn't the best way to do things, right? But you find out what the bad parts are by figuring out what your good parts are. So if you know the disks are good, then you know it must be the disk drive that's bad. So let's crack this one open. Hopefully it looks exactly the same as the other one. Come on, baby. There we go. Ah, look at that. This drive has no circuit board in it. Someone on eBay has been in here. But that's actually kind of good. It saves us the trouble. Right? Now we're going to grab this PCB and we're going to lay it in place. Okay? And I want you to look at this. Let me make sure the camera's good. Okay? I'm going to point it out with these tweezers. You see this little guy right here? See this little chip? And it's got a little gunk of thermal paste on it. Not thermal paste, a thermal pad, right? This is why you got to be a little careful. That thermal pad would push heat into this piece of metal to diffuse it. If we look at this piece of metal right where it's going to sit, it has a piece of pad, right? And this piece of pad belonged to the other circuit board, so we just want to make sure we get rid of this. Otherwise, we're going to have two pads there, and it's going to crush that chip when we put it in. So, little catch there. You're so smart. Oh, oh, thank you. Cheers. Okay. So now we're going to look at this. And these ribbon cables I'm not worried about. These are all easy. Let's look at the wires. Make sure the wires are in the right place. Oh, did they give us the screws? Oh, they did. Look at that. They're so nice. Make sure we take those screws out. That's quite interesting that they gave us the little mounting screws. And that's why I was a little bit more comfortable buying from this eBay seller, because they gave instructions on what you're supposed to do. And I think that's a lot more comfortable. I hope it works. I hope so too. Slot this right in place. We got a little plastic connector right there. Drop this into place. Are those holes lined up? Yes. So I want to mount this in before we go any further, because I don't want this moving around on us when we start using solder. Because solder has a tendency to grab things that you don't really want to grab. These are Philip 000. So you need basically zero pressure on them. You just turn them in. Did the threads catch on this one? That one might be already stripped. No, threads are good. Good. Okay, let's do the entrance. Little pressure. Okay, you know what? It caught, which is good enough. Grab our tweezers. Make sure we got all of our cables here. Let me just take a look at this. Okay. Now, to be honest, since we don't really have a distinction between white, white, and yellow, yellow, I'm just gonna go for them. I'm sure it'll be fine. Because I'm seeing load positive, load negative, ground 2. So I assume the other one is a ground 1. Okay, well, no real way to know. Also, this is kind of loose. It's a little loosey-goosey. There we go. That's what was the problem. Wasn't seated all the way in. That's securely in there. So what was the first one? Actually, let me write this down. Get a little notepad. Our pen. Black, red, yellow. Nope. Already messed it up. White, yellow, yellow. Okay. White, yellow, yellow. Okay. Just as a little reference for us. Do we need these routed anywhere? A little bit of a pain to tuck them in later. I suppose not. They're pretty thin. Feed them in. There they go. Good. Give them a little tug, right? We just want to make sure that they were routed along the plastic here so they're not getting pinched. And separate our black and our red. These other ones, these can wait. Get those a little crimp. Okay. Time for the fun part. Plug the iron back in. Okay. Got our soldering iron. Got our solder here. We're not going to use that flux. I don't really care about that. Should I use the tweezers? Maybe I should. Maybe I should. So let's use a little more heat. Nope, still waiting. Oh, it's getting soft. Can feel it getting a little sticky. Not quite there yet. Got time to sip a little beer. Come on. I know I could probably buy like a really nice soldering iron, but I don't do this very often, so I don't think it's worth it. I don't really see a point. There are some very nice ones. I used to use a butane one back when I was a mechanic. It would look just like this one, except instead of electrical here, it would be like a lighter. And so you'd have to light it. But once you got it going, ooh, it worked good. It worked real good once it got going. Almost there. There we go. Finally. Took long enough. So we're just melting a little solder here. This one here reminds you of a glue gun. Kind of. It came with a cheap kit. We're just melting a little bit of solder onto the end of our iron here. Get it ready. Get it nice and ready. Perfect. All right, now we're going to grab our wire. It's going to go poorly, I'm sure of it. And then we're going to just tap this bad boy down. Solder flow. There we go. So the solder might not flow right away. And the reason being is because the circuit board we're working on is still cold. So sometimes you gotta wait for the circuit board to catch a little bit of that heat. Okay, looks like the black one's attached. Let me take a look here. That looks serviceable. Okay, time for the red. A little bit of solder. There we go. You can see it smoking on camera. That's just the rosin. Grab that red one. Bring it down to that red pad. A little touch. Press it down. Press it down. Let the solder run. Okay, that's attached. Let me take a look. Not happy with that one. Not happy with that one. Let's do reflow it. The wire. Top. Press. There we go. Good, good, good. I think it's jumpered with the black one. I'm doing this from a little further away. Usually I don't film like this, so it's a little awkward for me. Sorry. That's at an angle. That is at an angle. I don't like that at all. Straighten this little boy out. There we go. Touch of solder. All right, that's not pretty, but better than it was before. Yeah, yeah, that's serviceable. Ugh. Okay, we did the same thing to the black. So now white, white. Out. Got this here. little bit more. There we go. Actually, we're starting to get a little bit of gunk on the end of our tool, so we're gonna wipe it off in this steel wool here. Just push it in, turn it. Push it in, turn it. There we go. That looks much better. Remember, when metals get hot, they become a little bit more reactive, so. Okay, next white one. Right there. Oh, I could hear the tin cry on that one. Attached. Yes, yes you are. Beat the devil out of it? Yeah. Yeah, very much. You have to rub it out. Need a little bit more flow here. Go. Okay, how does that one look? Oh, it's the best one yet. That's the best one yet. All right, now for the two yellow ones. More. There we go. Grab this here. Touch it down. Good. Take the heat away. Let it freeze up. Okay, just want to make sure we're checking our work before we move on to the next one. Okay. And these are a lot smaller than I'm used to. Last one. Okay. How does that one look? Okay. Let's do our test. Grab them. Give them a tug. It's good. Good. That'll do. Yep. Same thing there. Good. All right. Unplug our iron. Okay, set that there to cool down. Give me just a second here. Okay. Just want to make sure that doesn't have a new mouse pad, and I don't want the iron to drop and leave a hole burning in my mouse pad. So we should be good. So now that we got these soldered in, let me show you here. There they are. Come on. There you go. Wow, they look a lot worse on camera, but they're on there. They're on there. Right? We can go and grab these wires, give them a nice little tug, and they're stuck on there. So should be good enough. Good enough for government work. Now what we're going to do is we're going to reconnect all these little ribbon cables. And if I remember right, these just slide right in. Gotta turn it towards me. If I could see what I was doing, I could do this a little faster. Okay, hold on. We just have to come in from the top with this one. There we go. All right. And let's lock this one down. Pinch these in. Towards the connector. Is that right? There we go. There you go. So there's that one. You could see it had just a little bit of a black plastic collar. We slip it in there and then tighten that collar. Okay, next one's going to be this large white one. Should be similar to the other one. We may have we may have damaged the connector just a little bit. Happens all the time, I'm sure. Feed that in there. And let's just lock these in. A little bit of a wide connector, give me a little bit of an issue. There you go. Now that's locked in right there. Okay, and now for the last one. This is the one that moves the laser back and forth. Come on. Come on. There we go. Oh. And a little pinch. All right. Okay, we're just going to give them all a light tug. And they all look to be in place. So let us get this back together. Okay, here's that case. Get this out of the way here. All right. And then 4 screws. We're done with our Phillips 0, so we'll put that away. Back to our Phillips number 2. And fortunately, this one only had 4 screws holding it together. Okay, that's that side done. Time for this side. And last one. Okay, now we're going to go back to our console. And we're going to mess around with that just a little bit here. Okay. Get some more beer before it gets warm. Okay. So this should be presumably a good drive now. So put that in the pile. You could see here on our wick, the wick that I used to clean. Let me just wind this up. It's starting to come undone. There you go. So you can see in this wick here, you could see the globs of solder that the wick picks up. And that's what we picked up off of the pads there to clean up the pads. So when we take off the wires, we put fresh solder on it. And we use the lead stuff. We use the good lead stuff that's easier to work with. And then we clean up the excess with this. So, pretty useful to have. Don't need this card anymore. Move over the center of attention here. Okay. And then we do have some extra screws from the other the other disk drive, which we don't need anymore. I'll just put these to the side. I always have a big box of screws, stuff that I don't really need anymore. That's cool. Let's get this all picked up so we're not tripping over ourselves. Okay. So last time we just put this electromagnetic shielding back on, and I think this was a Torx. But the problem we had with the shielding was a little bit. This is mounted through to the white plastic on the other side, and that stuff did not hold up very well. So we're just going to try to see if we could get some of these off here. I think this is one. Yep. P10. Torx 10 here. These are, you could tell, longer screws that go all the way through the console. Did we only put one in? No, we put two in. Okay, because we did break a few. There we go. Lift that up and off. Here's the electromagnetic shielding and the plastic cover. This is kind of one unit here. And here's the console. The last time we actually tried to take these off, but they have a weird spring mount. I do want to try to take them off again today. See if we can. And I think we're gonna do that. I figure since we're in here, right? Should we test the drive first, though? Can we? Can we test the drive? I'm just trying to think. I'd have to change the HDMI cable. I'm lazy. Let's get all this done first. And we'll see if we break the console here, then we won't have any problems. We'll just end the project right there. So to take the motherboard out, we're gonna have to do a couple things. Number one, the fans in here, these gotta come out. Number two, this power button circuit board right over here, this has to come out too. And then it'll just pop right out. But let's get cracking on that. I think these are a smaller Torx than the other ones, yes. Yes, they are. Are they a T8? Yeah, I believe so. I'll take these guys out. This one has three of them. One of the screws is hidden behind this plastic button. I love plastic. Plastic makes the world go round. But in this situation, we gotta snap this little thing off. This is what diffuses the colors for the red ring of death. And there is a screw hidden underneath it. Okay, we got our three screws out. And this is actually plugged in to the bottom. Notice the plug actually has a plug there. Kind of weird. Okay, so I'll put that to the side. Now for other things holding the circuit board down, just the fans. Let's get the fans out of here. We'll bring out the tweezers. Can I get these? They're right. There we go. Inch. Nope. Maybe I need some with a little more grip here. What is holding these things in? They came out really easy last time. Was it just not clipped in yesterday or last time? Maybe. Need a flathead. Here we go. Have a pick. Pick will do. Right. Pull the tab back. There we go. Oh, look, we broke the tab. Well, I'm not going to have to bother with that little guy again. Get the frickin' guy. I love plastic. I love brittle, old plastic. That's the tab. That's the tab that was giving us all that trouble. Right? But you know what? The pins are good. I'm looking at the pins. The pins are good. The fan side of the connector is good. They're held in by these two little tabs up here. So we're just going to sneak in. Pry this guy up if we can. There's one. There's the other. Comes out to the side. And there's the fans. 2 in 1. Actually, I do have... Remember to bring a little wet cloth here so we could just wipe these down. Okay, flip them around. They look pretty good from the other side, actually. Not too much dust, just a little bit. They look much better, and they spin pretty freely. Yeah, wonderfully. Put that to the side. Now we're ready to take this whole motherboard out. We're gonna flip this over to these screws. All of these little guys have to come out. So we'll start off with the stuff around the periphery. Back to the T10 for these, with smaller ones in the middle. These are the ones, we'll talk about those later. So anywhere there's a connector, right, on this console, that's where these are mounted. So right now we're taking off these screws. These are for the front of the console. These are where the old memory cards used to go. Over here, these two screws on the top. These two screws here are where the hard drive would mount in. These were the consoles that we could put the hard drives on. And we did take apart the hard drive in the last stream. So if you're interested in looking at what's in there, it's just a little 2.5-inch hard drive. These screws are around the HDMI plug, which would be getting a lot of plugging more than anything else. Also the AV connectors right here. And the last one in this upper corner, where the power supply is. Okay, so now that those are out, we're going to switch our bits back to the smaller forks. Is this the right one? Yes, it is. So right now, the only thing holding the motherboard in place is these 8 screws. And these screws are threaded in to the heatsink, not the heatsink mounting. These are threaded in to the heatsink. So they are very secure. We're going to take these out. The 90s camera being 60 FPS is kind of woozy. Do you want to see the camera again? It's a 1994 JVC. I don't know. Doesn't it? I don't see the name on it. It's a it's VHS. It's a VHS camera. Go camera. Hello Hempy. Hello Hempy. I was lurking a little bit today. Actually, I did check in. I'll show you. This is the setup I'm working with right now. You can see my little JVC camera on the tripod because I wanted a second camera angle. So it's zoomed in. I got the focus locked on it right now. Not the best camera, but it's I'm getting my money's worth out of it. Really charming. Hell yeah. So that's uh that's this camera that you're seeing up here. Full setup, thank you. Yeah, look at that resolution. That is 480i NTSC. Looks pretty good. Definitely better color balance than my other one. Checked in right when you started crying. Yeah, I was watching your Soma. Watching your Soma. Soma D's. I like that game. I think it's the most palatable fictional frictional game. Just because I don't really like Amnesia. Soma more like Somi Somi yeah. I don't know how to say that. I'll play it 80 more hours. I mean, someone was saying that you could speedrun it, and I gotta say, like, if you're that into the game, give it a shot. Give it a shot, right? So, it's already coming loose. Let me reach in. Grabbing that, flip it over. Okay, now we're gonna grab it by the heat sink because it's very, very secure right there. And there we go. You might try during your wisdom tooth recovery week. Yeah. Well, just remember the second day is the worst. All right. Oh, by the way, cheers. Cheers, tall boy. Tall boy PBR. All right. So I was talking with Ultra, and he was like, "Yeah, there is a way to get these fucking mounts off." And he says you could pry on it. You had too much earlier. You must sober up. Ooh, ooh. Did you do your did you do your secure boot? Okay. So how do I get this off? Let's try it. Let's try it. It says just pick a corner and pry. And I'm scared. I'm so scared. Break this. Oh, oh, oh! I saw it move. Move a little bit. Nothing blew up? Ooh, that's good. Did you check? Did you press Windows and System Information to try to see if Secure Boot is successfully on? Oh, wow. It actually came off. Look at that. The little guy's off. Let's try the other one. Snacks, they don't cut the nerve when they're doing the wisdom tooth extraction. Cheers with coffee because you passed out in your computer. Oh, there we go. Look at that. That sucker's coming loose. Ah, ah, fucker. Okay, now we're gonna reach in on the other side. Let's take this guy out. Flip him over. Gentle. Okay. We did the GPU one. Okay. Oh, look at that. There she goes. Aluminum block off. And there's our GPU die. We'll come back around to that one. Snacks, how was the movie? How was whatever movie you saw? How was the weeb shit that you saw? Did you like it? What did you see? Dragon Ball or something? Dude, it was so good. Really? And out of 10? Oh, Chainsaw Man. Yeah, I've never read Chainsaw Man, so I don't know what it's about. I don't know what it's about. Whenever Gloomy talks about it, I just smile and nod. Okay, this one's tighter than the other one. Hmm. Oh, there's a little dust bunny. Good to know. I've been wanting to see it. Oh, Hempy's in on it too. Feel like feel like I've been left out. I feel like I don't know what you guys are talking about. All I know about that anime is the lady with the eye patch like vomits in that dude's mouth, and I was like, huh, maybe that's not for me. Okay, this one is being a real bitch. Come on, maybe I need the other one, not that one. This one. Look at that. Look at that. Snap on. These cost a lot of money. Come on. The vomit kiss or something. How the fuck do you get this one off? This one's not even budging. Oh, there's a little something. Oh, did I break? Did I break something? Nope. We're good. We're good. Crisis averted. You get sick thinking about it. Sick at the thought of it. Just imagine, having a super hot and sexy lover. The tension is in the air. You're like, oh my god, they're just so fucking hot. I wish they would make a move. And then you see them, sultry night, air is hot. You just vomit in your fucking mouth. Holy shit, dude, I would just kill myself. I would just kill myself. What is going on? Is the vomit hot too? Like temperature wise? Yeah, it's warm. That shit is 98-degree vomit. Just steamy. Steamy like a cup of tea. Thick. Smells like alcohol. Ooh, that alcohol vomit. Oh shit. Or if you're asking me if I'm into vomit, the answer is no. No, thank you. No, thank you. I leave that up. I didn't leave that for my other people. I'm gonna bend the fuck out of this thing. I'm using the completely wrong tool for this, I'm sure. Heard a little tension release there. No good. No good leverage there. Oh, hey, there we go. Damn, that was a motherfucker. Now that one's either. There we go. How bad did I jack this up? No, thing's tough. All right, and just like that, it peeled off. There's our little heat spreader. Let's look at the other side. Let's look at the die. All right, there she is. So there's our GPU, presumably. Wait, this is our CPU, GPU. The heat sink? Yeah, this is the heat sink. So, um, where is my alcohol? Oh, actually, hold on. Got it over here. Okay, I got some bad news. My alcohol is empty. Shit. I got some good news. I think I could just use some vodka. I'll be right back. Okay. So I got a little bit of vodka from my freezer. Um and I mean it should be alcohol, right? It should be just plain alcohol. Hempy, sorry that I missed marbles. Ooh. And now this is frozen. Hopefully it doesn't fuck anything up. Okay. It's coming off a little bit. I wish we had some stronger alcohol for this, but This is very old thermal paste. I think 16 years old. Oh, look at that. I cut my finger there. Didn't even notice. Didn't even notice. Vodka from the freezer. Yeah, it's working, but it's not working very well. I wish it was a little bit of a higher proof. Do I have any higher proof alcohol? I guess I do. I have like a 60% pastis, but that's got licorice, and I don't want this thing smelling like licorice. Put that in. Scrubbing. Yeah, it's just, man, this stuff is caked on. Break any. I don't want to break any of the little capacitor guys. 60% alcohol, that's a lot. Oh, yeah. I had pastis when I went to Toulouse out in France, and uh, you order it by the meter, and they give you 17 glasses full of pastis. Have I ever had pure Everclear? No. No, that is insane. Have you? Set your insides on fire? Yeah, it hurts your teeth too. The alcohol is too strong. It'll damage your teeth. My dad used to use it when he was making. He worked at a restaurant, and he would make like an ice cream, like a alcoholic ice cream for Sunday mornings. How much alcohol is inside? Everclear is what is Everclear? 195 proof, so it's like 97%, 97.5% alcohol. I can see that. That thermal paste is coming off. That's insane. Well, it's not. You don't. It's not sold to be to be drunk, right? Like vodka. Vodka is usually around like 40% alcohol, right? Rum, like really clear overproof rums, those can go up to like the 50s and 60%. And by that time, they could catch on fire, which is usually why people don't distill vodka so much, is you don't want it being flammable. But Everclear is meant to be used as like a mixer with other things for cooking. So that's what Everclear is. It's not like a drink. You don't go to a bar and say, "Hello, I would like a shot of Everclear." The bartender will be like, "Do you know what you're talking about? Because you're not supposed to drink it like that." Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, have anything stronger here? What is this? One time I just burned your taste buds with clear medicine 96 alcohol. Yeah, well that's isopropyl. That's a different type of alcohol. That one will actually kill you. Probably shouldn't drink that. Yeah, you need to be really careful with isopropyl and oh those are important. I want to damage those. Methylated. Methyl alcohol, mineral alcohols. Um those will make you blind. Damn, this is just not coming off. This is crazy. It's like gum. So we're just trying to clean off as much of this on this die that we can. I guess this isn't technically the die. This is like still the heat spreader on top of it. So not super crazy. I saw an interesting video of a guy who decided to water cool his PlayStation 3. And he actually water cooled his PlayStation 3 this year. So he did a bunch of like custom 3D prints and a bunch of interesting things. I quite liked that video. But it seems like he ran into problems with the voltage to the GPU. How are we doing? We're starting to break through. Starting to break through this gunk. God, I didn't realize there'd be so much. And that's not counting the stuff on the heat spreader too. I still have to clean these guys off. Because this is like, this isn't even thermal paste. This is like, this was like a gasket or something. Oh, it's sticky too. Maybe that's enough. Ah, it's gonna be so scuffed. Gasket on a heatsink? Not gasket. I think the proper word is thermal interface material. It's kind of like a sticky, like a thick sticker almost, like a weird thick sticker. So instead of being thermal paste that you inject onto it like a goo, it's like a rubber, like a conductive rubber. Can't be writing stuff down. As well as in GPU on VRAM. Yeah, similar to that stuff. You'll see a lot of You'll see a lot of like graphics cards will have like a metallic looking thermal paste on the dies because they need the most intense cooling. But for other parts that need cooling as well, like for example these RAM chips, 1, 2, and then 1, 2 here, right? These need cooling as well. Now, I mean, this is an old system, so you wouldn't. They're not that powerful, but on a modern system, yes, these would be cooled as well. They'll have little pads on them to help wick the heat away. Okay, honestly, I'm at the point where I'm like, this is pretty good enough. Now to work on these. I'm gonna work on these in my hands. Number one, so you can't see how what I'm about to do to them. Number two, so that I could work with them a little bit quicker. I guess I could. Just gonna get this pick and just kind of scrape this off. Should be a lot easier than. Yeah, there we go. Scrape that off. That way I'm not getting judged. Hey Arctic, you're doing it wrong. Ooh. I'm actually an Xbox repair expert. And I've been watching you this whole time, judging you. Because on your 360 Slim, they used ordinary thermal paste. Yeah, well, you gotta remember, these are the early versions. These are the very early versions. Arctic, by the way, you're doing it wrong. Didn't want to be that guy. Okay, Hempy. Okay. I thought you wanted to play Battlefield together, but I guess not. I guess not. I guess you wouldn't want to play with a hack like me. Are you excited for Black Ops 6 tomorrow? Are you excited? Hope I don't wake up. Holy shit. I can't like I don't know. I can't imagine streaming it would be. Are you gonna have like an open lobby? Are you gonna like play with people, or are you just gonna like raw dog solo queue? You know, this might be your big chance to like break into some like super famous Call of Duty guys like, oh, anyone can join but no open mic. Oh. I was about to say like you could collab with like, I'm trying to think of a famous Call of Duty player and I'm sure they exist, but I'm like super out of touch with that kind of thing. You're gonna be like, wow, look, I have a VTuber with me today on stream. They stream with an avatar. Isn't that crazy? You never do collabs because your brain breaks when people chat in your ear. Oh, I'm sure when we played Black Ops, then that was probably pretty rough. I was just yapping the whole time. What is this stuff? Is gunk. Look at this. Look at that. That just gunk. Your fault. I did bad. Okay, all right. Blame it on me. You guys collabed? No, no. I was playing Battlefield 6, and Hempy was like, "Hey Arctic, Black Ops 6 is free this weekend. You want to hop on?" And we hopped on and we played like 3 games together and I like got a headache from I got a headache from how much is going on in that game. Fastest install and uninstall in history. Yeah, basically. Yeah, that was insane. Like I knew it became like a zoomer, not even a zoomer, it became like a Gen Alpha game. I didn't realize how bad it got because there was just so much talking. The announcer just doesn't stop. And I was like, how? How? And then I got shot by Beavis and Butthead. And I was like, what is going on? Tomorrow's a punishment. You're not going to enjoy it. Well, you can always end with Battlefield 6. You can be like, all right, hey, I've had enough. I've had enough. We're gonna play Battlefield, and then you're gonna crash out over Battlefield. I've been playing so much over the gloomy Donathon. I've been playing Battlefield like the entire time. Ow. Whoops. Yeah, I was playing Battlefield like all stream because I mean you know like Donathon is like chatting you know so I didn't want to be like staring at a stream chatting for like you know 12 hours. So I was like, oh, I'll just play Battlefield on one screen. You're afraid your computer's gonna break? Yeah, it's a pretty intensive game. Well, you could turn some settings down before stream, right? So if you wondering what I'm doing, I got a Scotch Brite, and I'm just freaking sanding this shit off because this stuff is on there. Streamer, you're not supposed to use an abrasive on a thermal surface. Okay, buddy. Hey, dude. I'm sure this Xbox 360 will be just fine if it even works. I just realized I have to put this fucking thing back together. Oh my god. What am I thinking? But you know, today was pretty productive for me. I did laundry today. I helped my mom with some errands. I bought her some kitty litter. And then she gave me some soup. She gave me some pumpkin soup. I'm going to try to eat that later. See how that turns out. Now that my mom's retired, she's trying to cook different things. Good for you. You're staying active. Oh, this looks beautiful now. Look at that. Make sure I blow all the dust off. Does your mom speak Spanish? Yeah, my mom is the reason why I know Spanish. She speaks so much Spanish to me. Like my dad speaks really good English and he doesn't like using Spanish because it reminds him that he's Mexican. But my mom is like 90% Spanish. Look at how that looks. Now you could see that's like reflective, right? And there's definitely like marks from the Scotch Brite, but it feels like a smooth plane. Sorry. That must be all the aluminum dust entering my lungs as we speak. Bless. Thank you. Thank you. I love breathing in metals. Oh, it's so good. I'm actually gonna hit the other one with the Scotch Brite too. Shiny. Yeah, it's so shiny. Oh, there we go. That one didn't take much at all. There we go. You could see that one just barely a little touch there. How do you say bless you in Russian? Is there a sneeze phrase in Russian? What are these needles for? I have these needles and I don't know what they're for. They're probably not important. Okay. That says um Realfy, I don't know what that says, Realfy. I don't even know how to start pronouncing that. Let me just check if I have another thermal paste here. Bud Dorov. Interesting. Interesting. So, I have an interesting decision to make. What type of thermal paste are we going to use to put this back on? Now, the go-to, the one that everyone is like okay with, is Arctic MX4. This is a good general purpose paste, right? Pretty normal thermal paste. Next up, Noctua. Noctua thermal paste. I'm sure this stuff is good too, right? And then I have some Cooler Master thermal paste. Came with a CPU cooler that I had. And then finally, I have some EK Ectotherm. This is from the water blocks that I have. So it's probably going to be one of these two. Probably going to be either the Arctic MX4 or the Noctua. Let me try the Arctic first, because that's kind of the go-to for everyone. Um, Actually, let me see if this is dry. That's probably a good test first. I have I'll use this piece of paper. Okay, let's get a little. Oh, no, that looks good. That looks fine. Perfectly serviceable. Let me smear it a little bit. So usually when you'll press it, you see how it still spreads well, right? So we'll use this stuff. So this larger one went on this, and it was oriented like so. So let's do the larger one first, since it's the one that gave us more trouble. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our thermal paste. We have our little thing here. Not that clean, but it's clean enough. And we're just going to put a little dollop right on it. That should be more than enough. That might even be a little too much. That might be a little too much, but that's perfect. You don't need that much. We're going to place this on top. And we're going to get this and flip it over. Okay. Right here is where all the pressure is. We're going to just press right on that. Good. Okay. Now let's get our fuck ass clamp and let's try to clamp this baby down. Little overzealous with that, but that's okay. Wow. Wow. Backseating Hempy, thank you. I I hope you know I'm making a joke. I'm not busting your balls. Do I have a hammer? Gotta say a hammer would be really nice right now. Use this hook. And there we go. Oh, it's easier going on than it is coming off. All right. So now this sucker's on there with fresh thermal paste. Oh, I love thermal paste. Oh, it makes me so happy. Now for the smaller cooler. Now for some reason this one went on like that. I don't know why. Whatever. Whatever. Got our thermal paste here. Now this one's 2 packages. Right? We're gonna put a little bit there. Ah, fuck it. Why not? You get a little more. And then this is the small one. We'll actually give you just a little dollop there. Let's cap this off. Get our heat sink. All right. Keep pressure on it as we turn this bad boy over. Ow. Give me a second. I'm doing this. I'm doing this in my lap. There's one. Okay. Time for the last one. There we go. That was easy. Okay, and we'll just make sure we give this a nice little press. Okay, good. All right, so fresh thermal paste. Hopefully we didn't break it. But, you know, if we did, that's fine too. That's fine too. So I got our heat shielding here. It's got a little bit of dust. Let me wipe this down. Look at that. Look at that dust. Nasty. Ow. Now we're going to place this in here. All right. Let's secure it first. Let me get the vodka outside. Move that away. Okay. Flip this over. Keep our hand underneath it. Because we're going to put in these little studs here. Man, just imagine how good this Xbox is going to run. Oh, it's going to be so good. And then watch the disk drive still not work. I'd actually be a little bit upset over that. I told my friend, I said, hey, if I break this Xbox, I know you have a lot of guns. Can you take it to the range and put it down? He was like, yeah. Like, yeah, I got some. He's got a lever action 4570. He was like, yeah, I'll. If it really comes down to that, I'll blow that fucking thing up. Fill it up with tannerite. Blow that shit to high hell. Office space with guns, yeah. What's funny is I got this Xbox for free. I think I told that story on the last video. Last stream, whatever. I don't know how I feel about I can destroy it for free. I might pay for the ammo. I'll probably pay for the ammo. I duct tape this thing down so it doesn't fly away and then just go to town on it. All right, time for the bigger screws. Hempy, how are you feeling about your I saw your little para emote and I thought of the concert that they're doing and then you did a cover karaoke thing, whatever it's called. And you have an upcoming karaoke stream. Are you excited? Are you excited for karaoke? No, capital letter no. Oh, my arm is clicking. That's terrible. That also feels like punishment? Wow. Wow. Your precious community shares their music with you and it feels like a punishment? I can't believe it. Although I saw some of the songs that people were submitting and I was like, "No, I'm not sure that's a karaoke song, but okay. No. All right. Oh, man. Am I done with this beer? No, still got some more beer. Okay. So the motherboard is back in, securely mounted with fresh thermal paste. Can't wait to sing Linkin Park. Shinji, you don't like Linkin Park? What? You do like them? Okay. Well, what's the problem then? Oh, that scared me a little bit. Where's my tweezers? There you go. Can I sing like Chester? Well, of course not, but that's not the point. You know, Hempy, I used to date a girl who was in a choir, okay? And one day, okay, come this is like casual trauma, okay? This is going to be like a casual trauma thing. So, I used to date a girl who was in a choir and one day it was just a regular day we were driving, okay? Nothing unusual. There was something on the radio. I like it wasn't Linkin Park. It was um I think it was Jet Airliner. I think it was like a dad rock song. Jet Airliner was on the radio, and I was singing along because I like him. I like Steve Miller Band. And then the song ended, and she made a comment. She was like, "Wow, your singing is really off note or off key or whatever." And you know, that was, like for her, that was just like a silly, like, haha, you know, oh, you're so off key. Wow. And for me, that was like nuclear level, like never singing again in front of her, you know. And I was like, yeah, sorry, I'm not on a fucking choir. You know, did I say that? No, of course not. I didn't say that. But it was like one of those moments where I was like, all right, I guess I'm never singing again. Thanks. Shit, how many years has it how many years has it been since then? And I still remember it. God damn. Because that is one of those types of comments, right? If someone makes that type of comment, it's just like, dude. That's why I'd be so scared to sing in front of other people. Okay, we're reinstalling the power button now. You have a recording of Duvet, and you were semi proud of it. I heard it. It was pretty nice. Pretty nice. Speaking of speaking of Boa, shared it, and someone said you kind of floundered in the end. Holy shit! Did you kill them? Okay, that's reinstalled. Jesus Christ. Yeah, and that's like the type of comment that sticks with you. You just seethe silently, and people don't know how to have fun. Okay, we're just dusting off the fan shroud here. Okay, looks decent. So this goes I think like this, was it? Something like this. I don't really remember how this goes on. Yeah, why point it out? Yeah, it's not like you bill yourself as a singer or that it's like meant to be a produced cover or anything. It's just like, all right, yeah, I'm singing a happy song. People are brutal. People are brutal. That's why I have the why I put in the description like backseating is okay because I feel like when you like say that it's okay, people are less likely to do it. Oddly enough, I feel like I don't want people backseating anything, my singing or this or whatever. Okay, here is the disk drive that we replaced the thing on. Actually, I should replace the. You still remember comments from high school about odd shit that you think of daily? Okay, let me hit you with one. Okay, let me hit you with one. I used to date a girl, and one day we were hanging out. We were at Good Times, and Good Times is a it's a hamburger chain. uh, Right? You could get hamburgers, and I got a hamburger, and I was having a good time. I was eating my hamburger, and she made a comment, and she said, "Wow, you're really drinking your soda fast." I was like 15 years old. It is like 13 years later, and I still think about that fucking comment when I drink soda. Oh my god. Just end me. Lamau, come on. Come on, don't lamau me. When someone makes a comment like that, you remember it. You remember it. And I'm still friends with her. And I told her like 5 years ago. I was like, I think she was visiting. She lives in France. And I was like, hey, I remember this time you told me something. And I was like, it just really hit. And then she was like, hee hee. She was like, hee hee, I just have no filter. And I was like, yeah, so it tastes so good when I don't have someone telling me it's not. Yeah. I was like, oh fuck. All right, gotta put in the SATA plug. So see what we're doing. I'm putting in these two plugs here. Yeah, Hempy. Hempy, I'm like that with Dead Space 3. I can't tell you how many fucking people tell me that's a shit game. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I know it's bad. Your first day with an ex, skittish, looking at my phone. You remember her saying, "Put your phone away" with a smile. Damn, damn, she hit you with that. Shit. There we go. There's one. Yeah, all it takes is like one, one fucking comment from someone. Got trained like a dog, dude. That's PTSD, man. You can't joke around with that. That's actual PTSD. All right, we got our fan shroud in. We got our disk drive connected. Oh, there's a button for it. Hold on. This. How does this go on? Um, like that. It does. Most of high school was like getting mocked for certain types of bands. Yeah, yeah. I used to be a Magic the Gathering player in high school. I used to play Magic the fucking Gathering in high school. You could imagine how that was. Okay, got the eject button on. Power buttons on this piece. Now we can. Now we can install the other side of our shielding. You're a freak for listening to them. Oh my god! Did I tell you that when I was at the brand new when I was at the brand new show, the like revival show, there was someone who was like, if you like their music, you're like condoning, what was it, like child molestation or something that the guy was accused of, or whatever. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you here? I don't know. I don't know. Why do you go to a concert of someone you don't fucking like? Fuck out of here. Okay, I need to take this button. Oh, actually, is it which one goes on first? Is it the button or is it the shielding? Don't tell me. No, just don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it, Snacks. I would share their songs and people would say L take. There we go. Take that off. Put this on first. Now, flip this over. Something similar. Someone wrote that I had done a shit job in Photoshop. It was better for me never to do it again. Jesus. Yeah. Yeah. All it takes is one comment. Okay, this one's broken. Let's try this one. Right one. No, I need the bigger Torx. Yeah. Yeah, real few, you know. And all it takes is one person making one comment to ruin everything. That one's in. Good. Okay, the thread's caught on this one as well. Good. Okay, we got one more since I broke these other two. Okay. Nice. Nice. So this is coming together. All the EM shielding is on. The disk drive is in place. Okay, let's put in the button. There we go. So our eject button is in. Okay. I think we could just test it like this. Right? Let's test it. So we're just gonna leave it like this. I got my power supply. Let's plug this in. Okay, and we're just gonna turn it on and just see if it ejects a disk, if the drive even moves. Before I even go fucking around with the whatever it's called, the HDMI cable. So let's turn this on. Okay, you can see the lights turning green here. I hear the fans running. Yep, I got airflow on the back, so that's a good sign. No hard drive in it, just the memory. I think it's got like a half gig of memory. Let's press the eject button. Holy Jesus, it ejects. Okay. And it returns. All right, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. All right. Now, to figure out if it's actually reading, let's hook up the HDMI cable. So give me a second. Turn that off. Okay, we're not going to reassemble it anymore. But unfortunately, that means this camera here, the VHS camera, we're going to have to unplug it because that's using my HDMI. So let me hide that source here. Are you sure you want to remove it? Yes. Okay, give me a second. Do I have an HDMI cable? Yeah, I probably do. Hold on. You're gonna see some things. Just give me a second. Okay. All right. Hey yo. All right. It turned on. We're at the screen. Let me get a disc. Sorry. Give me a second here. I gotta. Ow. I have a controller. I know the button works. So let's try it through the menu. Open tray. All right. Looks good. We got our Alan Wake disc. Closing. Reading. Reading. Oh! Play game. Oh, we fixed it. We actually fucking fixed it. Holy shit. All right. It's hold on. It's making a strange noise? Question mark? I think that might be the I think that's because the case isn't on. I think the air is rushing through somewhere where it shouldn't be. Um, I am getting heat out of the back. Nixoni, hello? Hello, we just fixed an Xbox. We just fixed this Xbox right here. By replacing the disk drive. This is the one from the Xbox. Oh, actually, I have the game muted. Let me see if we're getting audio through that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, audio sounds good too. So, some reason this was not working. And just to catch up, we had to remove the circuit board from this, and I bought another disk drive off of eBay, and we replaced the circuit board, soldering 6 wires, and 3 ribbon cables, and it worked. So now I have an Xbox 360 Fat that works, right? Because I mean, don't get me wrong, I have a backup. I bought an Xbox 360. What's it called? I bought a Slim after this one didn't work. But we were actually able to replace the drive. Can't believe it. I can't fucking believe it. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna finish our beer. Don't hate on it because it's fat. I mean, that's just what you call it. I know you're probably joking, but this is what we call a 360 Fat. And then came the Slim. And then came the E. Xbox 360 E versions. For some reason. I don't know why they call it that. Man, I can't believe it. I cannot believe that we actually fixed it. I was kind of worried there, to be honest. Like, at the point where I was like reading that I had to replace a circuit board, I was like, I don't know about this, dude. I don't know about this. This is gonna be weird. Is that the only place I'm hurt? Yeah. Was it the one from last time with some broken parts? Yeah, I broke some plastic. And see, I got a little boo-boo. Little boo-boo on my finger. From all that sheet metal. Nah, I don't even feel it. I didn't even notice it. The 3 is not... the E version's not very good. Yeah, that's what I heard. That's why I have a Slim now. And this fat one, when we were in here today, we also removed the heat sinks and put on new thermal paste. We used new thermal paste in this. So it should be running better than it ever has, to be honest. We should probably put this thing back together all the way now. Probably. Let's turn this off. Turn off the console. Yeah, I was about to say before we start gaming, let's make sure we actually finish. Let's finish our job here. That's okay. That'll do. So, power cable. Let's unplug that. Right. Just got back from walking the dog. Yes, it's working. It's working. I just left the disc in there. Son of a. I just left the disc in there. Should probably take that out. Yeah, we plugged it in. We plugged in an HDMI cable. It works. It works exactly how it should. And sorry, call me paranoid, but I would rather take the disc out before we start flipping this thing around, just to make sure. Oh, and you could see here. Press the button, and the just it didn't have a problem before, but that was a great sign that the drive works. Just chef's kiss. Just beautiful. Yeah, never risk it. Never risk it, especially with a vintage game like this. Never risk it. Let's turn this off. Okay. Okay, so now we actually have to figure out how to put this thing back together, which I am not looking forward to. Um, oh, this is warm. This is warm now. So, is it just plastic clips? I think it is. Because I'm just looking at my parts. Here's the hard drive. That can wait until later. That's like a last step there. So I have the top and the bottom. I got the other side plate and the face plate. Have to go to bed. Wanted to say hi. Pork chop, thank you for stopping in. Sharing our celebration of a wonderful Xbox. Revived from the dead. Alright, so we'll probably put this side on. Let's see here. How does this goes upside down? Okay. I think this is just plastic crap, so it just kind of fits together. Somehow. I really, I really dislike these. Oh, that's click. Yep. There you go. Good. The front looks good. Flip it around to the back here. Ah, there's that broken piece of plastic. Oh, where's my tweezers? Where are my tweezers at? There they are. Try to break this piece. Get this out of the way. Okay. Do I just need to hit this? Oh, it's doing something. Making clicking noises. I need to do this in my lab. Need the pick. There we go. That's a piece of plastic gone. Just trying to do this last little lip here. Things are real Thing's real pain in the ass. There we go. The ones near the power entry are done. Trying to work these together. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's another click. Hempy, you asked me, do I take commissions? And I would say, no, because there is a 50-50 chance I'm probably going to break your console. Look at that. It's back together. Good as new. No one will notice all the plastic tabs we broke. Could you dismantle the whole casing and replace it with a new one? Yes, actually, thank you for bringing that up because I saved something on eBay that I wanted to show you guys. So give me just a second to pull it up. And we were talking about it when we were doing the disassembly, and I think you'll find this really interesting. Oh, it didn't save. Oh my. Oh my. Is it under my recent? Oh, it might be on my other computer. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I could still find it. Give me just a second. So remember we were talking about um there used to be clear cases and shells for it, right? And I got one here that I managed to find. And it's really interesting that they still try to sell these things, you know? And it's just mind-boggling how much they want for them now because they know, where else you're going to get one. So look at this price. And this is for the slim. That's for the slim version. You got to go to uni. Real feet, take it easy. Thanks for stopping in. Right? Isn't that insane? Isn't that insane? $150? Right? Like, there's no way. There's no way. Here's one that is cheaper, right? But even though it's cheaper, it's still insane. Thank you for the stream. Thank you for stopping in. Look at that one. 70 bucks and $65 shipping. Who in the hell would want that? Why? Why? You know? And so here's the thing that these Xbox, I didn't know those even exist. Never seen one of those before. Modding your console used to be a big thing. It used to be a big thing. Actually, let me see if there's some for the PlayStation 5. Because I modded my PS2 and my Wii. Let me see if there's a PS5 clear shell. Hmm. There's clear shells for the controllers. Oh, yep. There it is. Oh, they sell it in different colors too. It's kind of rad. Let me see if this is this gonna dox me? No, no, we should be good. Whoops, not that one. That one, please. But yeah, it was a really common mod back in the day. And I guess Sony has kind of taken on to it because you could buy different colors of your PlayStation shell, right? But like, here's a listing, and this is for a PS5, right? Like, pricey, pricey, but it looks cool. Now, don't get me wrong, the PlayStation 5 doesn't lend itself too well to it because it's a little bit like it has so much plastic and so much heat shielding and stuff like that. It doesn't really work out. But it's still a thing that you could do, right? Um but yeah, it was a really cool thing. I love how electronics used to look back in the day. I don't know what to think of this one. You could actually get the plastic in different colors. You could get the plastic like smoky blue, smoky pink, right? But Sony sells the cases now. Sony Sony has their own versions of it that are not clear. Sony refuses to sell a clear version. How? But yeah, no, it's a common mod. So let's put on the top and the bottom now. Those are these. Or do we put the faceplate on first? Probably the faceplate. Let's turn it like this. Got our regular faceplate. And if you want, you could actually get different faceplates. Not just different colors. Some used to have like stickers, and you could have like a Halo sticker or a Gears of War sticker, whatever, you know. Let's put this back on. Let me do this in my lap here. Just be a little safer. Wonderful. So we see that's back on there now. A little washed out. Sorry about that. I thought they just soldered everything together so you couldn't modify anything on new consoles. Well, I don't know about Xbox, but PlayStation is not the most accessible, but pretty accessible. Um, if you buy a PlayStation 5, you can't change laptop battery anymore. Yeah. Well, if you buy a PlayStation 5, Sony actually tells you how to open up the console because you can install your own M.2 NVMe SSD. You can install your own SSD into the PlayStation onto the circuit board. And they have tutorials on how to do it, and they tell you which hard drives, or I'm sorry, which solid state drives you could use. So at least for Sony, they're they kind of know, right? They're a lot chiller with that than they used to be. Um, yeah, yeah, and theirs are always a lot more easy to work on than these. This is like plastic hell. This is terrible. Even my PS3 and my PS4, if you just flip it over and there's little where the feet, where the rubber feet would be, you just get like a little pick and you peel those off and the screws are right there and just, zip out the screws and it just comes apart. Super easy. Super easy. No plastic like clicking bullshit. None of that. None of that. So, kind of why I like PlayStation. I've actually modded my PS2 is modded. My PlayStation 3, I redid the thermal paste in it myself, and I've also replaced the hard drive with a solid state drive. PlayStation 4, same thing. PlayStation 5, I haven't had to do it because it's really new. Here's the bottom vent. I think we cracked this one. Yeah, there's a little crack. right here where my thumb is, but I don't care. We're just going to put it together. There we go. That just snapped into place there. So that's all covered up now. And time for the top. Now the top one actually has a little hole here for the hard drive to mount in. So we'll just make sure we pop this here, lining up the hole. Ooh, the edge does not want to come in there. Oh, there we go. That all flush. Is that the lamp, the one that you clip to the table? Which one? Oh, are you talking about this arm? This arm, this is my microphone arm. And if you're talking about the lamp, that's from the camera. Camera has a ring light. So we've installed the top plastic cover. And now we can do the final thing. Install our hard drive. Our 120 gigabyte hard drive. Which is actually a lie. This is 160. Because we took it apart last stream. Let's just plug this in like that. Ta-da. It is back together. 100% back together, baby. And let me show you the barcodes here. Xbox 360 console. Manufactured August 17, 2009. Oh yeah. Isn't that crazy? So, wow. I'm actually kind of happy. Am I going to use this console? To be honest? Probably not, because I already have the other one plugged in. Oopsie. Oopsie. I already have the other one plugged in. Whoops. So this is probably going to go into my storage, but it's going to go into storage in working condition. So wonderful. Wonderful. Is there anything else I need to do today? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think I'm done. Is there anything else you guys want to see from the console? I think we went over everything pretty well. You did good. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not a professional, but I act like one. You proved I could do it. Yeah. Yeah, the soldering. I was kind of scared about the soldering, but it worked out. You're going to watch next time to watch the before steps. I have the it's on YouTube as well. I put the whole disassembly stream. I put that on YouTube, and then this whole stream will also go on YouTube, just in case you want to like scan around or anything. One of the reasons why I did this on stream is because maybe some dude in like 5 years is gonna have the same problem, and he's gonna be like, "How do I fix it?" And I'll be like, "Oh, here's an entire video on what I did." And whoever that person is, years from now, I'm sure they're going to appreciate it. Right. And it's also very interesting. Yeah. Honestly, Ultra Guy from Gloomy Chat, he helped me figure out that I could take off the heat sinks on this. Because otherwise, ooh, yeah. Yeah, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to. But Ultra, I was talking to him about it and he was like, "Oh, here's a guide." And I was like, "Oh, I guess you can take them off." So we did that this stream as well. We put new thermal paste into this console. New thermal paste, cleaned up the fans, replaced the disk drive. Primo. Primo. And then otherwise than that, this is stock. This is not modded at all. No software mods, no hardware mods, just completely stock system, which is honestly kind of how I prefer it. Right? Don't get me wrong. I'm sure I could put on some like, hacked software and then upload whatever games I want and do everything. But then it's not really an Xbox 360, Then it's kind of like, right? I want the original. I want the original. So, thanks for joining me today. Um, that was a lot of fun. I learned something. I hope you learned something too. I'll probably be on tomorrow. Do I have a PSP? Do I have a PSP? Do I have a PSP? Let me show you. Thank you for stream. Have a good night. Have a good night, Hempy. Have a good night. So no, I don't have 5 PSPs. I only have 3. Okay. So let me talk about them. Remember how we talked about people would mod their consoles, right? This is a modded PSP. I put the clear case on myself. What do you think? Looks looks kind of sexy, right? Well, I may have broke it. I broke it. I broke it while replacing it. Not not all of my mods work, by the way. I when you start messing with things and electronics and stuff, you're going to break something eventually. And what broke on this one, so this is the same as this. This is a PSP 1000. This is a PSP 1000. And this is actually one of the I think this is the one I owned when I was a child. So, the problem with buying one of these cases is that the plastic is cheap. This plastic is brittle. For some reason, clear plastic is very brittle compared to colored plastics. Okay. So when I took the PSP apart, I had some problems. maybe you can kind of make it out. Do you see around the edges of the screen there? You see how it has that like glue kind of finish there? The LCD screen is actually glued in place to the screen. Looks like it popped up. Yes. Yes. So it's actually glued in place, and you could see kind of a finish problem here. You could see how it kind of focus there for me. Yeah, you could see how it kind of split open there a little bit. You could stick your finger in that gap, right? So when you get the case, I had to get the case and then carefully take apart the PSP and then get the clear case and use a razor blade, and you'd shave out to make sure that the fit of the plastic is as close as possible, right? Because these are overcasted, right? The casting is crap, so you have to like trim the edges off. You have to make sure it's nice. And unfortunately, when trying to fit it all back together, it just, yeah, it just didn't work. And you see, like, even the drive, this drive with the metal rails and everything, this was a huge pain in the butt. And you see, it doesn't always latch. But if you like from the side, it doesn't latch properly. You have to like very evenly get it. So this one's broken, unfortunately. I keep it because it's so cool, but it's also like shameful, right? Like I fucked this up. Okay. This PSP is a PSP 1000. This PSP 1000 I modded, but only software, right? I put on, actually, does it have battery? No, no, it's kind of flat right now. So, this one I modified software wise. Oh, wait for reflection so it doesn't dox you. Where am I? Where am I? Dox me. Dox me, please. Oh, whoa! Whoa, you can't see that. It's not like I'm a real person. Don't worry. So, um, I put custom firmware on this so I could put custom games on it. I have Doom. I have Super Mario 64. Um, I have um, I have a bunch of PS1 games on this. Yeah. So this is my like jailbreak PSP, right? Okay, and then now here's the fun part. Okay. This PSP is a PSP 3000. And you might be thinking, "Well, what makes it a 3000? What makes it so special?" Other than the fact that it's cheaper. Do you run it with a special game? No, they're all, I have a memory chip. I have a 32 gigabyte memory chip. Has all the games on it. So this one of the things that they modified, Sony changed, was they changed how the door would close. Now you just drop in your disc. Ace Combat, by the way. Right? The door is much cheaper. The plastic is much cheaper. It's much lighter. It has less metal. But this console has a very interesting quirk. It's on the bottom. Okay. You see this plug here? This plug is audio, right? It's an audio jack. And it's a weird symbol. It looks like a TV. What could that be? this. The PSP 3000, you can plug this wire into HDMI? No, not HDMI. You can plug this wire into your PSP and you can have analog composite video coming out of your PSP. Right? Isn't that fucking wild? Now, unfortunately, this only works with a CRT. Okay? And there's a reason why. Um, I have a converter card. I have multiple converter cards, actually, that take signal from analog and turn it to HDMI. Okay? But it will not work with this PSP. Well, that's strange, right? Well, here's the thing. Just because it's analog doesn't mean that it always runs at the same resolution. Your regular CRT, right? If you live in America or Canada, your CRT runs at the NTSC standard, which means it's 480 lines interlaced. Okay? 480 pixels tall. You could think of it like that. Okay? 480. And that's really important because it tells the screen how much signal to show and how much signal is black for the beam to come back to the top. Okay? When you're trying to turn that, we have PAL here for it would work on that one. No. No, it would not. And I'll tell you why. What resolution do you think the PSP runs at? Right? Kind of a weird question. I'm not sure people really think about that. Let me find the exact resolution of the screen. Ah, there it is. The PSP is, from top to bottom, 272 pixels tall and wide, 480 pixels wide. So when you put it like that, it it doesn't, yeah, it's a tiny resolution. Yeah, it's really tiny. Um and in fact, if you have, seeing if I have it with me right now. If you have a PlayStation Vita, right, which is the successor to the PSP, this screen is exactly 4 times the resolution, right? So you could have 4 PSP screens and it'd be the resolution of this screen. Okay. Why did Sony do that? Sony did it because when you're working with a tiny screen, okay, if you just make the resolution lower, you can get a little bit more frame rate out of it, right? If you have a giant 4K screen, usually the computer has to work harder to make all those frames. But if you just make the frames smaller, you can get good frame rate out of it. And that was the point with the PSP. They were like, why don't we just use a weird resolution that's really small, but it's on a handheld, and it'll look good, right? It looks good in your hands. But here's the problem. These have a video output. If you use the wire to a real CRT screen, it doesn't fill up the whole screen. It has a very weird, like, cut at the top and the bottom because the TV doesn't really handle a smaller resolution that great. It'll show it, but you'll have timing problems and the picture will like shift. It'll like shift one way. And, on a CRT, fine. No problem. You could still play the game. Well, if you try to capture it, if you try to take this plug and plug it into a capture card, the capture card really doesn't like that. It really doesn't like that. I have 3 different capture cards, and out of the 3 capture cards, only a single one kind of shows what it looks like. You want to see what it looks like? I think I have a picture. Give me just a second. I think I have a picture. I could show you. Um, give me a second. It's a little bit of an older picture. What did I call it? No, it's not in that folder. Ah, there we go. So here's a picture of my PSP on my CRT. Okay. Now you see how the top is cut off there, the top and the bottom. Okay. And then if you notice, if you look on the left and the right side of the screen, now you see how the top and the bottom, the line is a clear line, right? It's a perfectly straight line. But if you look at the sides on the left and the right, you see how they're not straight, but they should be. And that's because the timing from line to line is off. Yes, it's shaky. And so you'll have this picture, and yeah, can you play a game like that? Yeah, yeah, no problem. No problem. But if you try to capture this using a capture card, it just it just doesn't work. It just I've tried. I've tried different ways. I've tried different capture cards. I've never found one that worked, unfortunately. And I guess you could go like super ghetto style and like point a camera at your TV. That just right? Like that doesn't even sound good. But yeah. Yeah. Thanks for uh thanks for asking about my PSPs. Um yeah, so I have 3 PSPs, one's broken, 2 work, and now you know a little bit more about them. So, all right. I think that's it for me. Thank you for coming in. I'll see you later. I'm not going to raid anyone. Just take it easy. What button is it? Here we go. Goodbye.